Hi everyone, I'm Cheryl and welcome to the Sewing Room channel. I'm going to demonstrate how to make a curtain valance for the holiday season. I'm using quilting fabric with a Christmas theme to it. So you can make it as you see on the window here with the ruffle and the border on the bottom, or you can make it without the ruffle and without the border. Okay, let's get started. If your window does not have a curtain rod on it at this time, I recommend you place the rod 3 inches above your window and then place the brackets 3 inches on each side of the window. Then you would measure from one bracket over to the other bracket. Now my window was 66 inches. Of course yours is probably going to be something different, but take whatever number you have and divide it by 2. So now that's 33. Then take this number here and add it back to the 33. And so this comes up to 99 inches. Now depending on how wide your curtain is, you're going to add either 1 to 3 inches extra for seam allowance. I just added 1, but you might need more. So that is going to be the full width of my curtain is 100 inches. Now in order to get to the 100 inches long, it's more cost effective to buy a little less fabric and cut 3 panels to get to that 100 inches. So your fabric is 42 inches when it's unfolded off of the bolt. But here's my fold line. You're cutting the length of the fabric going this way 20 inches. So that's how long the curtain will come down from top to bottom until you finish the edges off. So in order to get to the 100, I'm going to go over 20 inches and do a cut and do that 2 more times, and that will give me enough fabric for the curtain to go across. After you've cut your 3 panels or more, maybe even less, then you want to make sure you cut the selvage edges off at each end. So now you're going to take the number of pieces that you cut and you're going to stitch each end together. So you may have 2, 3, 4, ever how many or how long you're going to make this. If you have a serger machine, you can just whip those seams right through your serger and they're already bound and ready to go. If you do not have a serger, stitch a 1/4 inch wide seam, then either do a zigzag stitch or an overcast stitch to bind the raw edges. If you want to add the border on, you can make the border any length you want. I recommend you cut it anywhere from 5.5 inches to maybe 7, 8, 9 inches if you want to add extra length to your curtain. So then you would take those border pieces, stitch those ends together, and then take your border and attach it to the main piece by bringing front sides together, stitch a 1/4 inch wide seam, and then do your overcast stitch or your zigzag stitch to bind the edges. Now this piece of fabric is representing my big long piece of fabric. So at each end of your curtain, you've got the 2 raw edges now. So you're going to finish them off by folding it over 1/4 inch and press. Then fold it over again 1/4 inch and press. Then stitch close to the edge all along here. And you do that at each end of the curtain. So now the 2 end raw edges are completed. Now go to the next 2 raw edges and do the same process. Fold the edge over twice and then stitch it down. Now this is a little cafe curtain rod, but your curtain rod you're using may be thicker. So take your rod and place it over your fabric on the back side. Now take your edge here and fold it over. Now once you fold it over, this is so you know how wide to make your casing for the rod. You want to make sure that it's not tight. In other words, don't make it super snug. You'll have a very hard time getting the rod on and off. So you want to make sure you give it plenty of room so that it moves. So if you don't want the ruffle, you just fold it over this one time, and then you would take the rod out, of course, pin this down, and then stitch close to this edge all the way from each end to the other. If you want the little ruffle on top of the curtain, you're going to actually pull this fabric down even farther. So you've got the size of your casing right here. Then I recommend you bring this down anywhere from 1.25 inches to 1.5 inches. So take your little rod out and then take a little ruler stick and then bring it down another 1.25 inches to 1.5 inches. So now this casing area looks really wide. So what you're going to do is you're going to stitch this edge down first all the way across. So now you have your curtain rod in here. So you want to place a pin here where the other side of the rod is going to be, still keeping it nice and loose in the casing. So you'll actually have 2 lines of stitching going across. So you would go ahead and measure all the way across, all the way down. Stick pins pointing towards your sewing machine needle so that you know you're going to stitch right towards those pins all the way across. So now you have your ruffle up here and your casing for the rod. So here is what the curtain would look like without the ruffle on top and no border. It's still very cute and very festive. Now let's take a look one more time at the one with the ruffle and the border. So this curtain, I actually like it a lot, but I also like the other curtain too. This one has a lot more interesting pieces to it. The other one is very simple. So it really depends on what your needs are. Well, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and that you learned something new. Now, I have other curtain tutorials. Some are in different styles, so you can also pick one of them and use Christmas printed fabric. Those links will be listed below your YouTube screen in the description section. You just scroll down, click on the words Show More, and it will expand open and you will see all of the links. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram and check out my Facebook page. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time, and happy sewing. If you like the Sewing Room channel, one of the best ways to show your support is to subscribe by clicking on that red subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. And don't forget to click on share to share this video with your friends. And make sure you click on the bell so you receive notifications for all my new videos. I'm Cheryl. This is Manny. See you next time.